Quarterfinal action continues from West Meadows Ice Arena in Rolling Meadows, Illinois. It's the number 6 Lake Forest Scouts who will take on the number 3 Loyola Academy Gold Ramblers for a path to take on New Trier in the state semifinals tomorrow afternoon. Welcome into the broadcast on SHL Network, everybody, alongside Wes Anderson. My name is Luke Jordan up here, and our sideline reporter Dylan Ward we'll hear from within the next minute. But Wes, want to talk about this Lake Forest squad real quick. They're the number 6 seed. They were 5th in the SHL, highest seed in program history for the Red Varsity State Tournament. It's been an electric year for the Scouts, to say the least.
I mean, to say the least, Luke is right. I mean, they haven't get a goal yet in the state tournament. We know that very much might change here tonight, but Logan Marsh has been outstanding all year long. It's the reason why he's considered one of the top goalies in the state. Scouts
head coach Steve Sorora has been in the coaching realm for 25 years, and he's trying to make this a magical one to remember down to ice level with Dylan Ward.
Thanks, guys. Well, Steve, this has been a breakout year for your Lake Forest Scouts team. Now you have to prove it here in a one-game quarterfinal. How have the boys been preparing for this one emotionally?
Emotionally, I mean, these kids are together like 24/7. This team has been fantastic as far as a team. They're hanging out together. They're ready to go. They believe in each other. That's all we need.
You guys lost in 3 games in the SHL quarterfinals. Obviously, a much different scenario here. Winner take all, 1 game. Does that change the preparation coming into this, knowing it's just 1 game?
No, we're treating this game just like every other game. We got to bring the intensity, play it right, play our game. We're not changing the plan, anything just for 1 game. We're gonna stick with what we know.
You guys have had the best power play all season in the SHL by a landslide. What has made your team so good on the man advantage, and do you see that being a factor tonight?
Yeah, I mean, power plays are going to be huge, and I think, honestly, we're shooting the puck. A lot of these other teams might get a little too cute in front of the net, trying to slide pucks through the middle. We just put the puck on the net, and we're going hard. That's all it is.
All right, Coach, thanks. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Dylan. And looking at the Loyola end, 18-6 in 3 regular season, 3rd out of 10 teams in the SHL, finishing above York for that 3rd seed, which now leads them to play Lake Forest in state. They went on to the SHL semifinals, but lost in 3 to New Trier, but I think they're doing just all right. An offense that has improved, and you've also got an all-state selection goaltender in Charlie Trapp as well.
I mean, you look at the pregame notes, averaging 9 goals a game in the state tournament, 12 to start things off against Iggy Maroon, the V2 team for St. Ignatius, and then they were in a tight one against New Trier Blue last weekend, one that I think they had 3 third-period goals there to actually pull away at the end to beat New Trier Blue. So they're looking to get back on track here tonight. They're going to have a tough task against the Scouts team.
Absolutely. They're going to have to play better than last round, as Wes mentioned. They did not lead in that game against New Trier Blue until the final goal that they scored with just about 30 seconds left in that one. So they're hoping how they finish is how they can start things here against the Scouts of Lake Forest. For Lake Forest, this is their first Varsity 1 opponent as well that they will face, as they've walked through 2 Varsity 2 opponents. That was not the original plan, as they beat Glenbrook South Blue 8-0 in the first round, then beat GBN Gold in the second round 5-0, outscoring their opponents 13-0 in the state tournament so far. But they only ended up meeting with GBN Gold because they were the ones to upset number 10 Brother Rice. Otherwise, we would have had those 2 meeting. But that'll bring us here to the quarterfinal matchup. All 8 teams are SHL teams. This will be the 4th meeting this season between Lake Forest and Loyola. The Ramblers have taken the 2 most recent after Lake Forest won the season opener back in October, back in a shootout. So the music starts to cue in. Both teams decked around their net. Loyola will be sporting the gold, while Lake Forest in black, yellow, and blue, making one last arrival to their bench before headed back to the goal line for the starting lineups, eventually brought to you by the public address voice of the Scholastic Hockey League in Sam Schwartz. But in the meantime, I want to look at Loyola's end real quick. You've got a chance to meet once again with New Trier in the state semifinals. That could be a reality tomorrow. You've got to imagine that's firing them up.
Yeah, and you're going to see a few of the New Trier Trevians stay around and watch for this game. I mean, it's fireworks whenever these 2 teams get together. But they're not going to look past these scouts just yet. They've played them so tight throughout the entire year. They know they've got a tough task ahead of them here this afternoon.
There the Ramblers now headed back to the goal line. Lake Forest is ready to go. They cannot wait for this moment. One of the best years in their school's history for hockey, trying to continue on the magic here. Starting lineups coming from Sam Schwartz.
Good afternoon, fans and friends, and welcome to West Meadows Ice Arena for the AHAI High School Varsity Red Quarterfinals. Today's game features the 6th seed Lake Forest Scouts versus the 3 seed Loyola Ramblers. The winner of this game will play New Trier tomorrow right here at West Meadows Ice Arena. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to meet today's starting lineups. First, for the designated visiting team, the Lake Forest Scouts. They are coached by Steve Sarauer. Here is his starting lineup. At left defense, senior number 75, Jack Rancourt. At right defense, senior number 83, Luke Pasquesi. At left wing, senior number 48, Preston Louis. At right wing, sophomore 00, Ezio Parentini. At center, senior number 57, Grady Strothman. And defending the Lake Forest goal, junior number 34, Logan Marsh. And the rest of the Lake Forest Scouts. And now the starting lineup for the designated home team, the Loyola Ramblers. They are coached by Scott Cirillo. Here is his starting lineup. At left defense, senior number 34, Anthony Donato. At right defense, junior number 86, Tommy Tingle. At left wing, senior number 36, Nick Thomas. At right wing, sophomore number 14, Luke Jobert. At center, junior number 24, Connor McCauley. And defending the Rambler goal, junior number 1, Charlie Trapp. Let's meet today's officials. The referees are Alex Crow and Josh Horwitz. The linespeople are Bob Marshall and Kenny Szymanski. The official score is Sam Schwartz. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise if you are able and willing and remove headwear if wearing and face the flag as we honor our country and those who serve with a recording of our national anthem by soloist Wayne Mesmer.
O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night Star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
I mean, it sounds like he's in the building. He might be in the building next Friday for the state championship game.
Luke, it's one of those, whenever they play that, I feel, like you said, I feel like he's just sitting somewhere in the crowd with the microphone on. So great rendition by Wade Mesbury. It's one of those where Sam Schwartz has so many tricks up his sleeve. You never know which one you're going to get coming into pregame.
Yeah, and it just hits different before a hockey game right after that USA sweep in the Olympics, men's and women's both taking gold. This is a great country for hockey, and this is a great state when it comes to high school hockey.
Absolutely, Dylan. And let's take a chance to look at the starting netminders in tonight's matchup. Starting with the visiting side, the number 6 Lake Forest Scouts. They'll go with Logan Marsh, of course, who made 26 appearances over the SHL regular season and playoffs, at 2.17 goals out average, .929 save percentage, but he's only faced 12 shots and stopped them all so far in the state tournament. You see him on the right-hand side of your screen. On the other side, Charlie Trapp. Both goaltenders are all-staters. Trapp has been the ace since his freshman year, now a junior, posting a .933 save percentage in the SHL season. But in state, 2-0, although an .800 save percentage, trying to get his foot back in the dirt.
And you could also circle back to the SHL Game 3, which is also in that last 2 to 3 game span where he had a tough outing as well. So he's going to really have to lock in against a Lake Forest team that has beaten this Loyola team. You said in the shootout, they've been to overtime as well.
Yeah, Dylan, this is definitely going to be a redemption game for number 1 in yellow to our left tonight. Expect him to come in clutch for the Ramblers this afternoon.
Macaulay Strothman at center ice. Puck drops. We are underway in the second quarterfinal of 4 on this Saturday afternoon. Glad you're all with us here. Luke Jordan alongside you with Wes Anderson, our color commentator, and Dylan Ward, sideline. Of course, plenty more names to shout out as the game goes by with our behind-the-scenes staff as well, always doing an incredible job. The Ramblers will work it up the right side of the ice before it's sent right back in where it came from. Trapp will just leave it back in deep for Patrick Dine. 23 points in the regular season for him. 22 of those were assists, which led this Loyola Academy team in offense overall. Worked off the wall by Kading. Now Berrettini tries to fire it in deep. Luke Jobert, the sophomore, battling against the Loyola boards, kicks it forward and gets a change. Here comes Jack Blazejowski from a distance, whips it wide. Now Pasquesi throws it up the right side boards for Berrettini on his backhand. We'll just try to shovel in deep. It's cut off by the back line of Loyola. And Kading will look to go vertical, but it's intercepted by Maricini, now pushed ahead. As we mentioned, 4th meeting between these two. Loyola has taken 2, Lake Forest 1. Marsh pad save, pops up to the point. Here's Tommy Tingle. That one's soaked up on a shot block.
And then Loyola already getting to their sets here on the offensive side. Less than 2 minutes in here and already 3 shots on goal. Marsh so far been able to steer everything aside.
Popping out in front of the slot now. It's Hoffman trying to slash something towards the net, but could not. Milliman now in deep. Here's Donato up the boards. Robbins cuts it off, sends it towards the net, and a save from Trapp in rebuttal. Nate Robbins looking towards the slot for point leader in the regular season, Catalano, as it bounces around towards the net, up for grabs, and now lodged under that right pad of Charlie Trapp. Early troubles, but Trapp makes the troublesome save.
Yeah, and Trapp there was a little bit of traffic right in front of him as well. You could see that puck was nestled under. It looked like that right pad at the time of just trying to fight through the traffic. You could see a little bit of a screen in front and tries to steer it aside, but able to pounce on that rebound.
Big hit down and deep on Dwyer. You don't see the football player getting jacked around like that too often.
Another confident save here we can see on the replay. You talk about the hit, just a little bit to the left of where our camera can see. You can see comes off his skates there. You don't see that too often here in high school hockey. Some big hits so far early on for the Scouts here in this first period.
Not at all. A state champion in football 2023 and 2024.
Guys, this Lake Forest bench to my left is absolutely fired up on every play. I mean, Luke, you talk about as motivation for Loyola to see New Trier to get some redemption. How about for Lake Forest? If they win this, they play New Trier, a team that they have not lost to, 3-0 on the season. So incentives on both sides, and I'm sure both sides like their next opponent if they win.
Absolutely well said. Lake Forest, the only team to pull off a sweep against one of the top 2 teams in the SHL, whether St. Vite or New Trier. Here's Rolick into the zone, a save by Trapp as it bounces around.
Great start here by the Scouts, too. Just a few great shots in on Trapp to start the game.
And the play interrupted, a penalty coming. Luke Jobert got tangled up in between the blue lines, and the Loyola power play, something that they have worked on dearly throughout this season, will get a chance to try to strike first in this quarterfinal game.
Luke, third in the SHL in the regular season, 21.2%, 18 of 50 or 85 there in the regular season.
Just caught the end of that ref mic there.
Luke, I'm still not used to the. I'm still not used to the ref mic. One of those are going to take a few more reps for us to truly feel comfortable here using it. But
Wes, you're going to get a lecture from Sam after the game.
Yeah, I know. He's always barking up my horn about something.
They look for Thomas down low, can't find him. As Wes mentions, third best in the regular season. They were actually 6th over the course before the final couple of regular season games back in late January, under the bottom half of teams in the Scholastic Hockey League, but they've really collected themselves together. Plenty of power play opportunities, 102 overall in the SHL. That is the most out of any team. So they get a lot of chances at it too, and that leads for more practice. Here's Hoffman from the point, rebound! Just there for Thomas, he couldn't capitalize.
Can't tell if Marsh was able to get a blocker on that second chance or if that hit the pipe or not, but either way, puck stays out of the Scouts' net. Dylan, you got anything for us down there?
Yeah, he made the save with the pad on the first shot, of course, and then the second one went wide.
That's why we've got the eyes and ears down there in Dylan Ward for the things that we can't see up here in the booth.
There comes Dine. Protecting it on the backhand, tries to shovel it across, and Blazejowski will take it on the left circle. Throws it up top, Daverman. That one blocked off by Robin, sliding and clearing.
Just some great defensive plays here by the Scouts. First, a shot block to help out their goaltender out, and then a diving play to clear that puck. So crucial when you're down a man here, especially early on in this first period. Getting pucks out, clearing things to alleviate pressure is so critical.
Daverman steered aside. Now he'll try to curl it up the boards for Blazejowski. Out in front, Kading will tap it back down. Pasquesi trying to steal it, can't clear though. Blazejowski works it back down the left side. And that one got a piece of the netting right where it cuts off.
Looks like Daverman was kind of surprised that puck came in so hot in on him. It looked like it hit him in the helmet before going out of play, but either way, we're going to have a face-off here in the defensive zone for the Scouts. And you can see already, Scouts leading the shot total 6-3 here through the first 5-ish minutes of this first period. They got out to a great start. They're trying to make sure they're able to kill off this penalty. About 12 seconds left to do it.
It was 6-1 coming into this power play, so really hot start for the Scouts.
That should just about do it as Smiley recuperates at center ice. 5-on-5, Loyola starts 0-for-1 on the power play in the early goings of their quarterfinal game. Here's the captain, Gabal, throwing one towards the net. Radel almost got a tap on it. Nice job by the officials to let the play continue. Here's Smiley, center blue line, deflected off target. Radel tries to fling it back in front. Smiley again, this time soaked up by a Scout. And done so again by Preston Louis on the slot from another try. Down the length, icing called, but Lake Forest is able to interrupt the opportunities.
And we're going to get a great replay here. Puck's bouncing in on Marsh, able to locate, as you mentioned, Luke, good on the officials to not blow that down. So we saw in the previous game a couple quick whistles towards the end, so good on the rest for letting them play, even though the Scouts are able to clear there. Great opportunities here, testing Marsh here early on.
Thomas swoops in to take it. Now it's McCauley with the shot. What a save by the shoulder of Marsh. The SHL goaltender of the year for a reason. And if I were to wonder, I'm assuming the runner-up's on the other end. I mean, I think you're looking at arguably the top 2 goalies in the state right here.
And you could put Calder Turpin in there
That's
as
the
well.
thing, yeah.
There's so much, so the depth of the goalie talent here in the SAHL. I mean, even some of the backups too, when they get in, their numbers are spectacular. So a plethora of depth here in the blue paint for the SHL and in the state tournament.
Milliman has his shot blocked. Rancourt holds the zone. Lake Forest a 15-10-2 regular season. They ended up 5th best, but state seeding came a little bit early, so it was Glenbrook South that ended up taking that state 5 spot. They'll play against York later tonight in the 4-5 matchup. And this leads Lake Forest to have to play Loyola in the quarter. Here comes Maricini at the goal line, zipped right into the mitt of Trapp.
And Luke, that's what makes this matchup, along with GBS York, interesting. Is Ignatius New Trier played in the SHL quarters, 3-game series. Same with St. Viator and GBN, which will be our game after this. But these are unique matchups. These 2 teams have not seen each other in a playoff environment yet this season, unlike those other teams. So it's a little bit more of a feeling out process. Obviously, we mentioned they played in the last game of the regular season on February 1st, but either way, that's regular season. It's a completely different game.
Hockey fans, visit ChicagoWolvesStore.com to pick up the official 2026 High School State Championships t-shirt and souvenir puck, along with a wide selection of Wolves jerseys, sweatshirts, tees, hats, and more. Blazejowski throws it out, and hand goes up for icing from Logan Marsh, and most importantly, the Lions people. Quick look to our sponsors. Thank you so much to all of you that help get this broadcast involved. It's actually not possible without you, fun fact. Looking down towards the end here, you're also going to see Joel Schneider. He's right to the left of me right now working the camera. Got some nice pizza and fries during the break. An incredible cameraman. He's also helped donate a ton here to this network. I think that camera you're seeing right now is from him as well.
The unsung heroes behind the scenes that really allow and help for this production to go on. Joel Schneider, Jimmy the Wiz to my right, who's just a madman with all the gadgets and things that he's got going on. It looks like he's got an Xbox controller working one of the cameras down there at ice level. So
That's
it's just
an Xbox. You're not kidding.
Yeah, so it's just magnificent, the type of technology and just how much the broadcast team has grown over the years.
How about Joel Schneider as well last season on the camera for the Winter Classic, speaking of Lake Forest, in 20-degree weather. He's an absolute animal.
Dylan, that was a brutal game. Me and you were doing that. Jimmy the Wiz was cooped up in the hut to the left where the broadcast booth was, nice and warm, but me and you were braving the elements for that Winter Classic game.
Yeah, Wes, we had the hand warmers, the feet warmers tucked into our shoes, and I'm just sitting there wondering, how many hot chocolates has Jimmy had so far?
Dylan, if I recall, got to talk to Logan Marsh earlier this year. I wasn't sure if it was a scout from last year or this year, but they mentioned that Winter Classic, one of their favorite memories playing hockey. Here's Hoffman trying to lead it out in front. That was sticked away by Jack Rancourt. Just above 10 minutes left in the first period. Still no score from West Meadows Ice Arena. Winner has New Trier. Then the next 2 games left on the day will decide the other half of the semifinal bracket. Very close to too many men there. Here comes Savage as he'll fire in deep.
Loyola's also on a 5-0 shot on goal run right now.
Rolek sends back in Valenti, leading the way on the forecheck. Trying to beat Tingle into the corner and jams him up against the half wall. Things sent out by the Ramblers yet again. 9:42 left in period number 1.
And Dylan, you're down there at ice level. What is the vibe there down on the scouts bench? We see a few players up. The other ones are sitting. Just seems like they're cool and collected. We know their head coach, Steve Sauer, is more on the relaxed end of things. So just curious how things are going down on the scouts bench.
Seems pretty cool and collected, like you said, Wes. But, I mean, there are big-time reactions to every little play that you just don't get in the regular season. Nothing too over the top. They are conserving their energy as they know we're just getting started here.
Zone held by Savage. Pops out in the slot for Rolek. A low shot steered aside. Here's Valenti pulling it out. Steven Valenti goes with the point pass. Squacy deflected off frame. And is recollected by Savage, turning and spinning one towards the net. Now Rolek centering feed. Oh, it goes just wide off the stick of Valenti. Good eat in front by Smiley. Zone is held yet again. Pasquesi goes wide. Pure chaos after not too much happened in the first couple of minutes. Pasquesi able to hold the zone. They'll try to slot it back in front, but nobody there. And Dwyer will feed it for Daverman. That was tipped in behind the line. Doesn't matter as it ends up right on the pad of Marsh.
And Luke, you mentioned a little bit of a lag in the play there, but Valenti just found himself in the high slot there. It looked like he had Trap beat to his glove hand side. I can't tell if there's a stick that gets in there by Christopher Cox or not, but just a great opportunity for the Scouts to take the early lead. And yeah, it looks like he just whiffs on that, and he's going to be thinking about that for the remainder of the game here. Just puts that one wide. You can see Trap coming out of the blue paint, trying to make himself big in as much time as he had. It's a great opportunity here early on for the Scouts, but not able to capitalize.
Chris Gall now ran court for Lake Forest. Trying to work away from some Ramblers on the near side. Strothman over the line. Soaked up there by Gall. Now it's Gabal the other way. Here comes Luke Berghoff. He's got a 2-on-1. Berghoff taking it himself, goes down in front of the net, and then nearly ricochets it on over the shoulder of Marsh. A quick developing play, but all we know is Loyola's got a second power play opportunity coming.
And he had Redo there too to his right. I don't think he ever saw him. I think if he moves that over back door, he gives him a good chance to put a puck on net. You can see him over there to the right. Max Anderson's going to hate me for that, not using the stop-start function here on the telestrator. But Logan Marsh, either way, makes a great save with the glove as that puck pops up at the last second before it comes in on net. But Loyola here with another chance with the man advantage to open up the scoring.
Ended up 19.6% when you combine the regular season and postseason of the SHL. And they have it sent right out by Lake Forest to begin with. 0 for 1 so far in this game, Loyola Academy. Connor McCauley nearly hits the near side official in the groin. Now we got a penalty coming. It's a 5-on-3. Pasquesi lets his stick get loose. And it was Thomas drawing it as a huge 94-second two-man advantage is upcoming.
Luke, you saw Hoffman look straight to the bench to leave this top unit out on the ice with the two-man advantage. Smart on Loyola to let the Scouts touch that puck immediately there to extend that two-man advantage to 1 minute and 34 seconds. This is critical for the Ramblers to at least get one here with the man advantage to open up the scoring, to start to get things rolling here this afternoon.
A team that is so good, especially when they have that lead after the first, Wes, 11-0. Have not lost a game against an SHL foe in doing such, and they've got a chance to grab step one right here. Some catch played up top. It's Daverman walking, shooting, he rang the iron. Oh boy.
And the Scouts doing a good job of keeping that triangle tight. It differs so much than when it's 5-on-4 compared to 5-on-3. You got to rotate that triangle super quickly when the Ramblers get in their sets here.
Daverman feeds it through, and a one-timer can't connect on too well for the junior Hoffman. He'll take it back far circle. Henry Hoffman pumping one on, pad save, rebound goes just wide from McCauley. Logan Marsh holding his ground right now, still above 50 seconds left on the two-man advantage. Up top, Hoffman finds its way through, but not by Marsh. Already 9 saves in this game for the junior. SHL goalie of the year, Hoffman. That one soaked up by a diving Tommy Esplin and cleared.
2 huge shot blocks by Tony Esplin. You can see he broke his stick on the first one, and he just dives in front of the second one. In doing so, the Scouts are able to clear the puck, and he's able to get off.
Here is Daverman now at the goal line. Second-year varsity player taking a lap in the offensive zone. Drops it back for Joe Bear. Joe Bear swings over. Blazejowski goes wide of the cage. Awkward carry around, and Daverman strikes it well wide. The zone is held by Blazejowski on the left side. Final seconds of the 5-on-3. Drag and a shoot from Joe Bear. That won't go. 5-on-4 for the next 25. As Rolek out of the box. Marsh will pounce on it while he can, and here comes the applause from the Scout faithful.
The Scouts doing a great job. Logan Marsh, his rebound control hasn't been great, but he's been putting it in areas that haven't allowed the Ramblers to have immediate second chance opportunities. You can see over here on that previous opportunity, rings off the pipe. You can see him sliding down the butterfly, just trying to locate this. Luckily, it hits the pipe and goes out. Doesn't end up in the back of the net. But it's just fighting through these screens. That's the tough part. When you go 5-on-3, you've got that extra man in front of you. It just makes that your life as a goalie so much harder to locate shots through traffic.
We'll go to the left of Marsh here. Has struggled in his last 2 appearances against Loyola, but you wouldn't imagine that. Here's Blazejowski into the slot. Kading pulls it to his forehead and scores! Couldn't capitalize on the 5-on-3, but they do such with 10 left on the 5-on-4. Loyola up first here in the quarterfinal game.
And look, that's the importance of winning offensive zone faceoffs here. Even if you just get the puck with a quick shot, as we see Max Kading do on this play. And it's not even really like a set play. He just finds himself with some space in tight in the high slot and just some great hands to throw that to the blocker's side of Marsh and open the scoring here for the Ramblers.
Mind you, Kading was 8th in points in the regular season. Then he exploded for a 3-goal, 6-point playoff, point per game in the SHL playoffs. And now he's point per game in the state playoffs, 3 goals, 2 assists. Or actually, he's well above it. My goodness. Here's Dinan deep. Just tries to huck one on. We've got a bit of physicality after the whistle here. As somebody shoved out in front, just grazed the shoulder of Marsh. That's all it took.
Luke, sorry to interrupt you earlier, but for Kading as well, coming in that Game 3 against New Trier, the 7-4 loss, he had a goal and 2 assists for 3 total points in that one. His only 3-point game of the season, check that, second 3-point game of the season, dating all the way back to September 21st when he had 4 points against Carmel Catholic.
And for the Ramblers, it's really been people who we wouldn't exactly expect to be their stars during the regular season that have stepped up, Dylan. I mean, that's well said. You got Kading and Hoffman, who both had 6 points in the SHL playoffs. It's hard to look too much into the state playoffs so far, considering their competition, but nice shot block there by Preston Lee.
But still, I mean, you want those players to get hot and build some confidence, even if you're playing lesser competition. Someone like Peter Lachnicki has really turned his game on in the state playoffs.
Always a big-time player, led this team in scoring last year, spins and ends up losing an edge. No need for a penalty there. As Preston Lee's checked near the Lake Forest bench.
That stick came about 2 inches away from my shin, by the way.
Same spot that Wes Anderson was in for Game 1. You guys are rolling the dice. Right in between the benches. At least Pierre McGuire, Darren Payne have some protection over there. You guys are helpless.
Hey, you got to get down there in the trenches if you need to give the people, you know, the hard-hitting analysis that me and Dylan provide each game.
It's very true. Robbins pocket picked and the puck stationary at the blue line. Couldn't be handled too well by Dine, and here comes Tommy Esplin. Feeds it back, Catalano goes backside, and it can't be handled by Robbins. Top unit out there for Lake Forest. Just missing the polishing touch. Jake Maricini will shovel it on trap. Around the wall now for Thomas as he glues Robbins to the boards. Icing whistle, 4:06 to play. Tickets are now on sale for the Illinois boys varsity combined and varsity red high school state championships at Allstate Arena on March 6th. For tickets, visit chicagowolves.com/state championships. And guys, we're 6 days away. Wow.
6 days away, and we haven't even played the semifinals either. So we've got a jam-packed week of hockey to go here. 2 games after this, and then the semifinals tomorrow. Just a lot of hockey in a short amount of time.
Got combined division quarterfinals today going on as well over at Rosemont. Then they'll come here tomorrow along with Red for the semifinals. So just tons of hockey this weekend when it comes to the state tournament.
8 seasons were scheduled to continue today, and by Sunday night there will be just 2 seasons left here in the Red Varsity division. Bouncing puck could be trouble out in the circle. Now Savage works it ahead for Rolek. Plays it for Torelli. Gets it on the left hand, sends one softly towards the net as Trapp hangs on.
And really after, their first flurry of shots on goal, it's really been all Ramblers since. Dylan, you had the stat of a little while ago where they were leading the shots 5-0 through the first couple of minutes post the Scouts really getting after it. So I like to see the Scouts respond here. Try and settle things down. They're chasing the game right now, but the game, it's only one goal, so it's not out of reach by any means. But like to see them kind of get back to where they were at to begin the game.
Yeah, Wes, shots on goal are 10-3 since that moment in favor of Loyola.
They look for Dwyer at center ice. He's now got it off an awkward bounce. Strothman takes right back. Grady Strothman down the right side of the ice. Will swing it around the boards. Daniel Anaya goes crashing at the red line. Here's Lochnicki in a one-on-one. Dangles off to his backhand, but couldn't finish. Feeds it now back out in front. Bouncing puck couldn't be handled too well by Dwyer, who gave it his best.
Smart play by Marsh there, too. You could tell his team needed a change. You can see wholesale changes coming as well. All 5 guys coming off the ice. One of those just so situationally aware by 34 in black. That's what makes him one of the best goaltenders, knowing when his team might be reeling a little bit, slow the pace down just a tad, catch their breath, and get right back to it.
Top unit back out there for Lake Forest. Catalano and Esplin alongside Robbins. Those 3 have been a pulse for this Lake Forest offense. How about Tommy Esplin, number 5 in black in the state tournament? A hat trick in each game so far, and a power play opportunity is coming for the best power play unit in the state, unless they score.
Yeah, one of those. I'm surprised that this top unit doesn't just give them the puck right away because they just changed. So give them that full, you're already fresh. You get that call coming right away. So we'll go to the ref mic here.
Come on, anytime now, buddy. Oh, he's not using it.
The one time it doesn't work is when Wes remembers.
Well, I mean, I've got it down now.
I've been controlling the sticks this entire time anyway, so we'll be making sure that Wes Anderson never even touches the ref mic again. Having fun with it up here. Wes Anderson alongside myself, Luke Jordan, with Dylan Ward down in between the benches as the top power play unit out on the top overall unit. Here we go. 32.3% between the SHL regular season and playoffs. That is 11% better than anybody else, with St. Viator in the second place spot. But how's that to begin things? A great killing effort by Jack Blazejowski. Catalano now forced to enter the zone. Collides with Tingle. Loyola has it down low, and they bank it out between the blue lines. Lake Forest having that power play percentage with the least power play opportunities a game in the SHL. Just 2.07, so it's a game plan for other teams to try to stay out of the box when you play these guys.
Yeah, Luke, when you look at the power play goal totals, Lake Forest with 20. In second place is St. Viator. Loyola right there behind him at 18, but 20 for 59. So That's where they get that percentage.
Yeah, usually anything above 20% is good. I mean, 13.9% higher than what people consider average, right? And
yeah.
Dylan talked to Steve Sauer before the game of why they're so successful. It's pucks on net, the cliche in the hockey world, getting pucks on net, but it's so crucial. You can't score if you can't shoot, and this team tends to shoot a lot, especially when they have the man advantage.
Man advantage is a heartbeat for the offense as well. Overall, they have the second worst offense among SHL teams, 2.37 goals a game. So a lot of their offense does come from that man advantage, and it can tend to give them a ride of momentum. Looking for that right now to even things up at 1. Anaya goes across for Rancourt. From the near point, deflected just wide. Anaya. Strothman inside the far circle. Dangles around, dragged up around a little bit as well. Anaya is able to hold the zone, feeds it across Rancourt. Once again, hesitant on the shot this time, and it gets soaked up no matter what by Dwyer. Now picked up by Kading, shorthanded. Kading has a lane to the net, but shovels it wide. Berrettini with plenty of room to roam.
Surprised the Scouts didn't try and pick up that before. One of those where you try and pressure the puck when you have the man advantage. They just let the Ramblers come in the zone a little haphazardly. Got a good shot there on Marsh.
Here's Strothman in the net, feeds backside. Maricini a backhander, rebound save by Trapp. Jake Maricini now curling one towards. It's cut off in the slot, and Loyola escapes yet again. Just 15 seconds left to kill. Dine will take his time, but too much of it. A bit of a late hit there from Pasquesi. And that far side official is nodding his head, but he did not issue a call to Pasquesi there, just finishing his check.
Julian Gabal there just a little antsy, as you can see right, well, comes out of frame there, but you can see him here in the middle there, just a little second late. So get rid of that, or I should say a little bit early, not late. That, he can't be, if you're early, it won't be offside.
You want to be early. Well,
you can see he was trying to headman the puck there on the weak side. Just came in a little bit before the puck did. And it's loud in here as well. I don't think Pasquesi might have heard the whistle, but one of those you're taught to finish your check. I think that's why the ref let him go, but a little bit of a warning.
Yeah.
Hey, can't do that again. You got to be smart when that whistle comes.
Usually that first time it isn't meant. Second time is where you start to question why you gave him a first time. Given away, here's a chance for Thomas, waiting, and he will try to center it out in front for McCauley, who is rocked down in the low slot. Really interesting developing play. The score doesn't change.
Thomas, I like the patience, but at a certain point, you got to shoot the puck. You can see Marsh recover to the near post with the paddle, so I like that he took the puck around, but at a certain point, you got to put that puck on net. I think if he does, it's 2-0 Ramblers.
Torelli gave it away to Dine, and the buzzer sounds on period number 1. With the Ramblers out in front, 1-0 through 17 minutes.
Great back and forth. The shots are tied here through the first 17. Just opening goal here by Max Kading. It's a great shot to beat Logan Marsh. And both goalies so far, I think, have been playing pretty good. They've had their fair share of chances and opportunities that have come their way. So both have responded to giving their team a chance to win this game.
Look at some of the highlights. Kading scores his 3rd goal of the state playoffs. He is a goal per game state playoff player so far.
Guys, I want to give a very special shout out to the voice of the SHL, Max Anderson, who you will notice as the day goes on is absent from this big day of quarterfinal action. He has just been promoted to the lead play-by-play for Chicago Fire Football Club. He's calling their home opener right now at Soldier Field against Club de Foot Montreal, a 1-0 lead for the Fire at halftime. So
all right,
congratulations to Max, and he'll be here tomorrow for the semis.
Did you see if it was Kuipers who got the goal again, or did you not see?
Let's have a look. Bamba.
All right, Bamba.
Bamba, that's right. 27th minute.
I was big on the Fire last year, went to the playoff game, froze, but had fun.
Yeah, I was going to say, it seems like it's a little bit chilly to start playing footy, but I know that goes all summer long, so maybe they have to get an early start so they can get the entire season in.
Well, Wes, you know this is the last season of summer MLS starting in 27-28. They're going to go to the European-style schedule and hockey-style schedule, quite frankly, where they begin in August and end in May. So
will they pause then during the winter?
There's a 6-week pause in the winter, and also just in general, some of the colder markets will schedule mostly away games in the winter. So there's that.
I was going to say, that's good to know. I can't imagine people going to soccer games at Soldier Field in 20-degree weather in the middle of January. So that's good to know that they'll give at least the players some relief from the cold weather here up in the northern part of the country.
The Fire might be down in Miami playing Lionel Messi around that time of year instead of at Soldier Field, but anyway.
Well, I tell you what, hockey's a cold sport, but thank goodness that it is mostly temperature controlled.
A little snow out there today on my way in from the parking lot.
Of course there is.
Yeah, I mean, it was 60 degrees yesterday, so of course it's snowing less than 24 hours later here in the great city of Chicago.
Wes, I don't know when those golf courses are truly going to be playable.
I didn't make a tee time for next Saturday, so we'll see. It's supposed to be it's supposed to be warm again, but we'll see.
Chipped in deep by McCauley. McCauley wearing the A as just a sophomore goes to battle in the corner with Valenti. Takes it away and scrapes it out in front. Max Kading, the lone goal in that first period, and that's why Loyola has a 1-0 lead. Trying to move on to the state semifinal to take on New Trier tomorrow. This one pinballs around, cannot be held on the near end of the zone by Chris Gall. Gall playing in his second game of the playoffs, did miss one. A thunderous victory against St. Ignatius Maroon, but struggled against New Trier Blue, saved by Trepp. But they got out of it, and that's what matters, as now you're playing a whole lot better against a whole lot better team.
One of those when people were texting me about it, I almost couldn't believe it. You know, you played New Trier Green so well during the middle of the week there in the SHL playoffs. It was almost like you expected the Ramblers to roll, and could have been one of those where they expected to roll too. They just started to look ahead to today's game, but New Trier Blue gave them everything they could. But a team like the Ramblers can rally and compose themselves, especially in that third period, as we mentioned in the open. Just those three third period goals were the reason they were able to punch their ticket into today.
Yeah, I remember, Wes, we were talking off camera a week or two ago, and you said, oh, who does Loyola play in the round of 16? I told you New Trier Blue, and you go, oh, they'll win. And they did.
They did, but it came at a price and a cost. So they've definitely got their focus back in tonight's game.
It was New Trier Blue who took on Carmel in that 14 versus 19 matchup to take on Loyola, get that privilege, and New Trier Blue took advantage, deserved it. Here's a blast from the point, saved by Marsh. Blazejowski now. Maricini all over him. It's sent back in. And this for an icing.
And guys, I want to ask both of you, as former hockey players, you could see New Trier Green over on the Loyola side of the ice. Looks like just about the entire roster is watching this game. In a tournament like this, would you rather win and then watch to see who you play, or would you rather have the knowledge of who you'd play coming into your own game?
I would rather wait and watch after, because then your only focus is the next game. So therefore you can spend all your time studying on, the strategies of both these sides.
Yeah, you want your focus to be on yourself first. So you rather, like you said, Luke, get your game out of the way first and then come and scout whoever you're playing next. Is a lot more freeing feeling when you're doing that, as opposed to worrying about who your potential next opponent could be while you're in the midst of a tough quarterfinal game like today.
Catalano flings in deep. No icing. He'll strangle Donato against the boards. Esplin in to reinforce. Esplin tries to swipe it out in front as it pinballs around. Tommy Esplin for Catalano, and that one kept off. Looks like it was blocked. Here's Esplin now, high slot, blocked again, that time Donato.
Great
Esplin
block.
with the lane, walks in, and Trapp makes a huge save.
Sorry about that, Luke, but Anthony Donato blocking that one with his left arm. I'm sure Jimmy has a great angle of it, but I had a great view of it from down here.
Dylan, yeah, we can see it up here in the booth as that puck makes its way out to the front. You can see right here. Look at that, Luke. Learn how to work the telestrator.
Oh, circle!
Learn how to use the telestrator, and what a block out in front. It's helping out his goaltender. So we'll get another look at that last opportunity. Charlie Trapp just able to recover. Good save, no rebound, and the Ramblers can breathe a sigh of relief after what could have been a potential goal to tie up this afternoon's game.
I can already see the headlines, Wes. Old man uses technology.
I'm not that old. Let's get that
Into
out of the way.
high slot. What a save by Marsh.
Right now, both teams trading chances. One of those was a little bit of a lull for, we'll say, the first 2 minutes of this second period. And ever since that, both teams trading chances. Game's starting to loosen up just a little bit as Marsh, I think he could also feel that as the former goalie up there. He could tell his team was a little bit off their skis there, and he needed to freeze that down and kind of calm everything down as, again, they're going to get a wholesale change here. 5 fresh skaters coming on the ice.
Do you know a hockey mom who goes above and beyond? If so, nominate her to become our Hockey Mom of the Month, presented by FenceWorks. Winners will be recognized throughout the season. Nominate your hockey mom at chicagowolves.com/hockeymom. That rhymes. Shout out to hockey moms around the state. I'm sure there's probably a couple of them even tuned in. It is a job on top of your job, and you don't get paid for it.
It's an unspoken thanks. The hockey moms do so many things behind the scenes that we cannot thank them enough for.
Not only do you not get paid for it, in fact, you pay for it.
Exactly. You do pay for it in most cases.
Pay a lot for it, too, to add that onto it.
Thomas slides it across for Patrick Dine. Another block by Lee. Where's that A for a reason? Joe Bear blocked by Lee again. He's like a moving sponge. Berrettini with the takeaway as he clears it out.
One of those, the scouts do those little things so well. Even the shot blocks, we saw Esplin on that 5-on-3. A few key shot blocks to really keep the puck out of the net. Well, unfortunately, until the puck found its way in the back of the scout's net, but they do the little things so well.
Outstretched hand of Marsh to hold on.
What a stop by Logan Marsh right there. I'm not sure if you guys had the best view of it, but just great save. I'm sure you got the goal cam ready, Jimmy.
Dylan, yeah, a good pickup by you because there's a little bit of a screen. I think from our vantage point, we didn't really catch that, but couldn't tell who the Rambler was that had the flyby, but a little bit of a screen in front of Marsh's eyes is why you see him react there late, but another great glove save by the Scouts netminder.
I think my only thing was I was expecting that one to go a tad bit wide with how far he stretched out, but looking again from the net cam, I wasn't sure that very much could have been on target or at least maybe even hit the post. So just to interrupt the play and hang on, why wouldn't you? Here comes Blazejowski now on a caused turnover. 3-on-2, play to the high slot. Hoffman and a save once again by Logan Marsh, who has been busy.
You can see he's out on top of his crease, making himself look a bit big. Great read there. There's a little bit of back pressure on his left side, but as that Rambler player comes in towards the middle of the ice, Marsh takes that extra step onto the top of the crease, makes himself look big, and no second chance opportunity either.
Another interesting formation off the face-off. One back to Donato, slips it through the legs. It's up for grabs. Now Kading has that one blocked by the skate of Torelli. Blazejowski now tries to swing it back down the boards. It's popped out by Savage. Rolek with the takeaway. Crashes into Donato. Played now down below the goal line and worked to the far side. Hoffman gets a touch. Foot race between two number 10s, and Torelli wins it. Rancourt collides at center. Loyola wanted an icing, and I think they had a reason. That looked behind the line to me, at least up here. As Donato now tries to play vertically, intercepted by Robbins. Bouncing back in on Charlie Trepp. He'll play it. Here's Tommy Tingle. Down the length. First jump up from Loyola JV in 7 years. Tommy Tingle accomplishing that. As usually you take the JV, then Loyola Maroon, then Loyola Gold.
Yeah, Loyola and New Trier, before this big boom of hockey players, youth hockey players, were the only two teams to have multiple varsity squads for a long time until I want to say around the 21-22 season, where you've got enough to make an entire division of the SHL with varsity 2 teams in the AHL.
Here's a bad rebound given out in front by Trapp, but to his fortune, no goal allowed as he'll swing away another one. Dine around the wall for Lochnicki. Maricini having some trouble here. Here comes Daverman with the shot saved by Marsh. The rebound backhand stop, still up for grabs, and it pops out to Esplin now.
3 huge saves there by Logan Marsh. You can see Robert Krebs on the Scouts bench just banging his blocker against the boards, cheering on the starter. We'll get another replay here. Just some great speed up the right side. Good blocker save, good push to get back in position, fights it off with the left shoulder, and then just flies out that left leg. You can see his head coach. He's always so calm. You're not going to get a lot of emotion out of Steve Sauer because he knows and trusts his players so well. But that last little flail of the left leg by Logan Marsh is the reason this is still a 1-0 hockey game.
It's funny how calm that bench is in general, too. It's, hey, we've seen this before. That's all he does.
And the players feed off of that, too, especially in big situations like this, is when you're more relaxed, you're just thinking better, you're not scared of the moment, and that's what the confidence Steve Sauer brings to this Scouts team.
I ran into a fan during the first game, and they clearly must listen into what me and Dylan talk about on the podcast. He goes, hey, by the way, Logan Marsh is the SHL goalie of the year. And I was like, no, I mean, I totally get it, blah, blah. And he goes, he carries his team. Like, when they need him, he makes the saves. He keeps his team in games. I'm like, I see it now.
It's very prevalent tonight. He's made 3 or 4 10-bell saves to keep this a 1-0 hockey game and keep his team in it through the first period and a half.
Always respect your guys' opinions. If you have anything mostly positive or something to argue with me, I actually love to talk about it with people, as Marsh was able to evade that situation.
I feel like people also like to remind you of the takes that you've had on the
that'll
podcast.
happen. You know what? It comes with the cost. Here's Berrettini. Bad save by Trapp. I love what I do until I open my Instagram on a lovely morning and see that I'm getting exposed for a bad take.
Yeah, I saw that Brother Rice loss, and you were the first person I thought of, Luke, and all the flank that you might be taking after that.
Here's McCauley. No-look feed just out of reach for Joe Bear. It is recollected by Thomas, who falls down to his knees. Zipped across the ice and held in near side point by Dine. Back into the slot. No connection there with McCauley. Just under 10 minutes. Here's McCauley again, and a toe save from the right side of Marsh. Joe Bear lays a booming check down in the corner. Takes some retaliation from Pasquesi. And here comes Grady Strothman shooting out of his own end. Strothman pumps the brakes. His pass cut off by Dine. Well, this is not a game between north and south, but we are very much going north and south, especially for these last couple of minutes.
Yeah, some back and forth action here as we'll see that last opportunity by McCauley. You can see Marsh gets to the top of his crease. It looks like he reacts a little late. He's fighting through a screen there by Pasquesi. You can see it right here. Moved a little bit too quick, but Pasquesi got out of the way of his netminder the last second. Logan Marsh able to get a right pad on that and keep this a 1-0 hockey game.
Kading versus Valenti here, and Lake Forest wins the faceoff back. They do give it right back to Loyola, out for grabs in front. Good initial look by Kading, who was not far from his second goal of the quarterfinal. 2-on-2 corner battle on the far side, pops out to Savage, and he'll break it out to Maricini. Jake Maricini puts it through the legs of his defender and just misses the cage. Not a bad angle whatsoever. Torelli holds. That one just avoids the netting down in the corner. Savage for Maricini. Rough hold taken away by Henry Hoffman. Could be a 2-on-1. Here comes Blazejowski now. Great back check by Maricini, but he can't clear successfully. Kading takes it back. Swings it off the side of the net. Rolick. Lake Forest just desperately needing a change. They're going to get that here with a whistle.
Guys, I want to give a shout out to Sam Schwartz. He is wearing 4 hats down here in the scores table, doing the clock, score sheet, music, and PA. Not to mention, he's got the broadcast pulled up on his iPad, and he's rewinding to make sure the shots on goal are accurate. Come on.
It's crazy how he can do that so quickly in real time. Dylan, I was down there for the game previous to this, and he's even looking at me, making sure. He's like, hey, did I get that right? And I'm like, I'm like, Sam, I'm not sure how you're able to even play the music while you're asking me these questions. So it really goes without saying just how crucial and how great he is day in and day out for the broadcast team.
Catalano over the line. Back for Robbins. You know, it's impressive. I do men's league games here sometimes in the summer. I can barely do one thing. So the fact that he does that much is unreal. Pasquesi with a nice check, poked out in front as it pinballs back below the goal line. Can feel the tension building with every given Loyola opportunity. Now tacking on 18 shots, but only getting 1 by Logan Marsh and none in this period. Charlie Trapp on the other end has been magnificent. I mean, this is just about what you would have expected between Charlie Trapp and Logan Marsh, and we are getting the perfect dosage of it.
We expected Trapp, too, to respond after the New Trier Blue game, and so far he has a few big saves there earlier in the first and, you know, keeping things pretty cool and collected here in the second. So one of the keys to one of the things that I was thinking even before this game is like, this is going to be a duel. And so far through the first half of the game, it has been only 1 goal given up on 34 shots.
Yeah.
Hockey fans, visit ChicagoWolvesStore.com to pick up the official 2026 High School State Championships t-shirt and souvenir puck alongside with a wide selection of Wolves jerseys, sweatshirts, tees, hats, and more. Sorry, Dylan.
It's all good, but Wes, you were just talking about only 1 goal allowed, and it was on the power play as well. Both goalies perfect at 5-on-5.
Here's Savage through the uprights.
Dylan, that's a good pickup by you. It's like one of the only ways you're going to be able to beat these goalies, as you mentioned, is with the man advantage. So that's why these special teams tonight, and particularly in the playoffs, are so important. It's where you can really change a game, where you can really win a game. We saw that earlier with New Trier, a shorthanded and a power play goal in their 4-1 win. The game winner was a shorthanded goal by Jenner Layden, something that you don't see too often here in the state finals, or I should say in the state playoffs. That shorthanded goal being the game winner, but nonetheless it was in our first game of a quad header here this afternoon and tonight at West Meadows.
New Trier 1 of 4 to clinch a semifinal spot. We'll have half of them after this one. Here's a nice feed for Joe Bear, hit from behind. Loyola wants a penalty. I mean, they have a reason to be frustrated.
I was going to say, I think they've got a great reason to be frustrated. You can see here on the...
That's a cross check.
It's a straight to the numbers.
Oh, boy. I mean, real time, it was kind of hard to tell, but the replay, that's...
Dangerous hit, too. Glad that Luke Jobert is able to get up right away. Goes almost head first to the post. Looks like his shoulder, though, is the one that catches it, and he bounces right back up.
You don't need that type of back pain when you could potentially be playing tomorrow as well. You'll wake up sore no matter what, whether you are playing or aren't.
Luke, I don't think you want that back pain regardless if you're playing tomorrow.
Here comes McCauley to the net. Nice save once again, Logan Marsh. One of his better saves right there, not biting from McCauley. Joe Bear will try again, and that won't go. Here's Thomas, flings it up to the point as it deflects wide. Man, this line out there for Loyola has been wreaking havoc on nearly every shift they get.
And at a certain point, if you're Loyola, I'm surprised that's not going to go down for icing. But at some point, if you're Loyola, you've got to take your medicine. They've only been testing really the blocker side of Logan Marsh, and so far he's been able to come up with some big saves. I expect them, after this intermission, they see a little bit of the tape, to start testing that glove hand to see if they can start scoring some more, because so far he's been dominant on that blocker side.
This is definitely one of those games where if you can get 2 or 3 goals on the offensive end, you'd feel pretty good about yourself, considering who you have in the net, no matter what team you're on.
And Luke, it's one of those, it could be one of those where one goal might be the winner.
Here's a chance for Hoffman with a delayed penalty coming to the Scouts. Third power play chance coming forth. Looked like they might have caught a hook. Yes, they did.
It's the former hockey player in Luke Jordan.
All right, let's see if they use the ref mic here. Oh, yeah. I had it on.
Guys, Loyola, this is coming from Sam Schwartz. I want to give him credit, is on a 9-2 shot on goal run. Lake Forest with just 3 shots in the last 9 minutes. So they're riding hot right now, and they're going to carry that momentum into this power play, try and make it 2-0.
Was a power play goal from Kading last time around. It's all we've seen hit the back of the net up to this point, with just above 5 minutes to play in the second frame. Dylan Ward, Wes Anderson, Luke Jordan with you for the second of 4 quarterfinal games. St. Viator and Glenbrook North is coming up next. Kading plays it far side. Daverman skips it across. Here's Blazejowski dragging and firing wide. Good hold by Daverman. They work it back to the top of the umbrella. Blazejowski turns back. Tommy Tingle waiting, fires one, deflected just wide. Kading back for Daverman, now snared down by Marsh, and a much needed whistle as Lake Forest and Loyola will both make changes.
Luke, that puck is clearly going to miss the net, but Logan Marsh knows his team needs changes. They are under duress here as we see that last replay. That puck gets through. I'm not sure if Marsh gets a piece of it. It looks like he does, but not able to corral. I think that's why as that puck's going over the net there, he's like, I need to freeze this down. I need to catch my breath. We need to get reinforcements as we continue on with the penalty kill.
Hoffman now down to the goal line for Nick Thomas. Dine, center blue line. For Donato, shot through some traffic. They try to get that moving screen of Thomas to throw off Marsh, but it's going to take more than that.
The Scouts are really aggressive on the half wall. You can see it even down here with Anaya. You can see him all the way out there past the dot. It's really allowed Loyola to move that puck across the seams efficiently when they've had time and space. So I'd expect them, if they get another penalty, come back on the penalty kill to really close up that box to eliminate those passing plays by the Ramblers.
Tommy Esplin with one heck of a forecheck on display right now. And it turns into a shorthanded 2-on-1. Esplin waits, shoots. What a save from Trapp. And he will cover. Tries to play it last second. It's not in time. Forecheck can create offense. It created this, Wes.
What a save by Trapp. You can see that it looks like Esplin might be looking him off. Trapp at the very end looks like he's moving to his left. You can see there's a little bit of space up there. But he's able to make a big blocker save, and he's even able to get on the rebound there.
As he stops another one.
And get a whistle. Just some great goaltending here tonight's game, Luke. We've been talking about it all day. Just some great action from both players in their respective blue paints.
We got our quarterfinal assignments a couple of weeks ago, and I looked down the bracket and I said, I'm probably going to get Loyola and Lake Forest on play-by-play. I said, this is great for my voice. I'm barely going to have to call any goals, but instead I'm calling magnificent saves. Good stop there by Trapp.
Even that last opportunity looked like it hit off a Loyola defender. Trapp had to be sure-handed there to make sure that doesn't find its way into the back of the net.
Yeah, I hope Jimmy has a replay of that. That went off the skate of the Rambler defender and right on net.
Thomas dancing around inside the center ice circle as he falls down. Not enough for a penalty there. And Anaya sends back in deep. Under 3 minutes left in period number 2. Zamboni garage door here at West Meadows is already open. They're ready to cut the ice. Here's Berghoff. Looking high slot. It is kept in. A pump fake now from Donato, who now pulls the trigger and has it punched away by Marsh. Battle ensues in the corner. Got to be careful if you're Pasquesi. It's handled in deep by Donato. On his backhand. Goes up top for Gabal. Nice block by Rolek. Recollected Donato. Blocker saved by Marsh. Berghoff with a no-look feed that falls through everybody and out over the blue line. Luke Pasquesi, the three-sport athlete, sends it out. Football, hockey, and baseball, so he's starting to get into the swing of that while completing his hockey season. Fed back for Gabal with the shot saved by by Marsh, pardon me. Here comes Esplin. Feeds across for Strothman. Grady Strothman from a distance. That one blocked off by Cox. Lake Forest just firing on all cylinders here. They just could not connect with the 4x6. Booming check in front of the Lake Forest bench by Julian Gabal as now a battle ensues in the near corner. And into the netting. 83 seconds left in period number 2 before we eventually take a break here. 1-0 Loyola leads.
Get some more good replays of the Ramblers, just their relentless pressure here in the offensive zone, testing Logan Marsh again and again. We see that last one, a great shoulder save. Looked like it might have changed directions at the last minute as that came in on net. So great focus by the Scouts netminder to just see that into his shoulder, steer that away from his goal, keep this a 1-0 hockey game.
Daverman looked like he was skating away from the puck. Here's Strothman. Glued down in the corner by Gall, and he shoves him down. Rancourt, blue line fire, blocked off. Rancourt's nearly beaten to that puck by Daverman. And heck, I'd say he was, but was able to work some stick work. Better be cautious on both sides in front of the Loyola bench. No penalties come out of it. Just above 40 seconds left before the ice clean. Rancourt with a hard hit. Watch out, Sam Schwartz. He's got a gift right in front of him.
Rancourt's lucky that he didn't get called for an elbow. You could see it looked like he was flying in to make that last hit. So we can just see the physicality start to ramp up. And on the Loyola side, they're also lucky they didn't take a penalty as well. It looked like it could have been a little bit of cross-check or roughing there. Dylan.
Guys, that puck, Sam had no idea it was on its way to the box, and I had a great view. Just narrowly avoided hitting him in a problematic area as well, so was able to throw that one back into play.
Well, I mean, I honestly thought it wasn't far from hitting his head at first. That looked scary, because we do not need his brain to stop working with all he's doing.
You talk about all the hats that he's wearing tonight.
It would not protect the puck. They're metaphorical anyway, as is. Here's Catalano, a dozen seconds to go in period number 2. Rifles one into the trap of trap.
I was going to say, how many metaphorical hats does he have to wear to keep that noggin
I don't know.
clean and safe, but
He needs the physical hat.
yeah, no, I know. I'm just being facetious here. That's all.
That's a great word, man. I'm
Good
glad you
look
brought
at-
that one into the broadcast.
Thanks. You know, sometimes I surprise myself. He's got a good look at Charlie Trapp there. Has been stellar so far here through 2 periods.
At the blue line, it's Catalano. Hand pass called. Talk about the wise words, Dylan. You know, it often comes from the older, wiser men, right?
You trying to call me Unk on the broadcast, dude? Like, why do you keep doing that?
Time.
Yeah, I know Luke had a comment about that, about Wes in the last game I was listening to when I was driving up there. Maybe it was Anthony. I think it was Luke.
Me and Luke like to just give it to each other. That's all. It's okay. He knows I love him, so he's allowed to do it.
I mean, I'm just letting the people know how old you are. Like, you probably did your school papers on typewriters and such.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, you just turned 37, right?
Yeah, okay, relax. I'm not that old.
Final seconds trimmed down from West Meadows. No last chance for Blazejowski, but his Ramblers are up 1, mostly thanks to number 1 Charlie Trapp, who stops all 22 he sees in the first 34 minutes.
Yeah, clean slate here through 2. We'll get a look at that goal from Kading. That's really the only blemish from either goalie. That we've got, 46 shots apiece and only 1 goal. So both goalies have brought their A game tonight, and both teams, they're firing on all cylinders. Both goalies just aren't giving up anything easy tonight. So we'll see how this third period plays out.
Winner has New Trier in the state semifinals, and the Trevians will know their date after these next 17 minutes. But after we take a break on the SHL Network, Loyola 1, Lake Forest 0 at the end of 2 periods.
At GYG, clean is the new healthy. But what does clean mean to us? No added preservatives, no artificial flavors, no added colors, and of course, no unacceptable additives in our food. That's why our guests feel so great after eating GYG. We're a food company. We are obsessed with every ingredient. It's our responsibility to serve you real, delicious, clean food. Who said fast food has to be bad food? At GYG, clean is the new healthy. Love ya.
You'll still have common days. Put off your term papers till the last minute. Eat cold pizza right out of the fridge. Update your fantasy roster. This is not one of those days. A few weeks a year and you'll discover the most uncommon time of your life.
The Earth is 70% water and 30% land. But the entire sky belongs to us. Copy that. Aim high, Airman.
To test the toughness of the Kia Sorento X-Pro and the Kia Sorento Turbo Hybrid, we recreated some of the wettest springs, hottest summers, windiest falls, and coldest winters to prove these three-row SUVs were built for the unstoppable. Get 0% APR for up to 48 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on the purchase of a new 2026 Sorento.
All these plates. Wow. Food, tables, people, friends, family, memories. Amazing plates. Wings, burgers, baseballs, cake, parties, birthdays, beer, crab legs, goofy, funny, beautiful, messy plates. Every plate, every day is for you. Hooters. Nothing beats the original.
At GYG, clean is the new healthy. But what does clean mean to us? No added preservatives, no artificial flavors, no added colors, and of course, no unacceptable additives in our food. That's why our guests feel so great after eating GYG. We're a food company. We are obsessed with every ingredient. It's our responsibility to serve you real, delicious, clean food. Who said fast food has to be bad food? At GYG, clean is the new healthy. Love ya.
You'll still have common days. Put off your term papers till the last minute. Eat cold pizza right out of the fridge. Update your fantasy roster. This is not one of those days. A few weeks a year and you'll discover the most uncommon time of your life.
Welcome back to the action from West Meadows Ice Arena in Rolling Meadows, Illinois. It's 1-0 Loyola after 2 periods, thanks to good work on both ends for the Ramblers. And Scott Sorrell, the head coach, is with Dylan Ward down at ice level.
Thanks, guys. Well, Coach, you got Charlie Trapp on your side, Logan Marsh on the other, 2 of the best goalies in the state. Did you have a feeling this would be a goalie duel coming into this one?
Yeah, I know how good they both are, so they're both having a heck of a game. We're just trying to get more traffic in front of him and hopefully get a rebound here.
Max Kading has the only goal of the game. He's on a 6-game point streak after that one here in the postseason. What's made him so hot, and how important is he to your puzzle?
Oh, he's huge. I mean, he's a big center for us, and he defends. He plays a 200-foot game, and that's really hard to find, so we're very lucky to have him. Big
right. Best of luck in the third.
Thanks.
Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Dylan. Dylan Ward, our sideline reporter up here. It's Wes Anderson alongside myself, Luke Jordan. We've seen 34 minutes of hockey, but we've had just 1 goal from Max Kading, as Dylan talked about. And it's not exactly usual to have 1 goal after 2 periods unless you have this goaltending matchup. It's been put on showcase today, Wes.
I mean, the SHL goalie of the year and then an all-stater on the opposite side. So what, 46 shots in 2 periods, only 1 goal? I mean, if Lake Forest, is the one to score the next one, it's going to have to be Greasy, because right now Trapp is seeing everything that's coming his way. The Scouts are going to have to find a way to get in front of his eyes or move the puck so quick that he can't recover to something that's backdoor. Outside of that, he has been locked in tonight. And then the opposite side, Logan Marsh, I mean, just as good. A couple of 10-bell saves, some great use of the blocker. He's been kicking things out. His rebound control was a little shaky there at the beginning of the game, but ever since, he's been locked and dialed in.
Well, to put it frankly this way, for the men in black, if you do not score in the next 17 minutes, your season is over. Simple as that. Third period underway as the Scouts, with that mission in mind, carry it over the blue line with a quick shot from Michael Catalano, gloved down by Charlie Trapp. 8 seconds in, we get a whistle. Trapp has now stopped all 23 that he's seen. We talked about rough numbers so far in the state tournament. His toughest task yet has been today, and he has stepped up to the occasion. As up the wall it comes. Hoffman can't clear. Esplin just fires it towards, and that is probably the easiest save Trapp has had to make today, and he's got 2 in the first 17 seconds.
There's a clear message at intermission from Steve Sauer. Get pucks on net. It's one of those where the more volume, we saw Maxwell Reed. He gave up a goal we know he wanted to have back, but he responded. Either way, they just need to tie this thing up, the Scouts do. So just keep throwing things at the net until Trapp makes a mistake.
Shots were even at 11 in the first, and Loyola outshot Lake Forest by 2. And Scouts will need a plenty to try to at least get one past Trapp here. Robbins goes vertical, just out of the reach of Catalano. It is a really classic matchup we have between these two. The 3-time state champion Loyola Academy, recently winning back in 2018. Lake Forest, 2-time state champs, 1980 and 1988. Their program really just hasn't been the same since then. But in the Red Division history, ever since then, this is the highest seed Lake Forest has ever had at number 6, and some would say they should have had the number 5.
Yeah, and you look at last season, they won the state championship at the JV level. They're going for a repeat for the JV team, who's also the number 1 seed in that tournament.
Yeah, and they're the number 1, Providence Catholic the number 2, New Trier the number 3. Very likely to get another Lake Forest Providence state championship instead at Rosemont instead of the UC. The JV games will be at Rosemont Ice Arena, which is still a very nice facility. And the varsity level games, of course, combined in red on Friday, March 6th. It's under a week away. Girls State Championship comes a little bit later. You know, that was interesting. That puck was sent right at Robert Krebs, and he didn't flinch on the Lake Forest bench.
He's got all that protective gear on. I don't think he might.
You could put me in a fully padded hazmat suit, and I would still flinch.
He's used to pucks coming his way like that, so just taking that one right off the breadbasket, I feel like is something he's done many of times before. But it is true. You usually at least see the goalie react. He just stayed completely still there down on the bench.
Backup netminder for Lake Forest. He's a senior, slotted at 6'4". If he's ever needed, we needed backup goalies in last year's quarterfinals. I know it happened for York when Jack Brown went down and Oscar Fish had to come in. And you're hoping with these 2 goalies, it likely won't happen. We don't plan on it. It's such talents in that as well. Strothman down in the corner. Goes up the wall for Pasquesi. Point shot deflected on by Lee. And Esplin can't follow up on net. Man, I tell you, I've seen a good amount of Lake Forest games, and Preston Lee just finds a time to be in the right place on a lot of occasions. Dwyer feeds it across, now locked. Nicky, that one blocked off.
Looks like Pasquale's got a piece of that before it came in on net. You could see he was shaking off his right hand, but he's back out there. Nice stretch pass here to get the puck in the offensive zone.
Sent in now by the Scouts. Foot race for this one in the corner. Catalano gets there first against Smiley, but now he's glued against the boards. Nate Robbins, good feed and a shot denied. Here's Rancourt following up. That one blocked by the shin pads of Daberman, who will bank it ahead for Lochnicki in a one-on-one, but he couldn't work by Maricini. Jack Rancourt getting nifty on the left side of the ice. Rancourt tries a shot, and it's kept off the goal line. No goal. Oh, my.
Luke, we're going to get a great look at this as we'll get a replay. It's a shot through a screen, which is why Trapp reacts late. You can see right there, it's a great shot through the defenseman's legs, and it looks like in real time, at least from up here, Trapp's able to react. Yeah, with plenty of time, no goal. Doesn't even come close.
Watch, right here. But I think that's after the whistle.
Yeah, it should be after the whistle. I'd be surprised if they called that a goal, because you can see right here, Puck's his hands on top of the...
That's long enough.
So this might be the best angle we see of it.
I mean,
yeah, the puck is fully covered there. That's a good pickup by the officials. There, you could see in real time that the puck was covered and the whistle should have gone. And there's even the rule too: if the ref's in the process of blowing the whistle, even if the whistle hasn't gone, the play is still dead. I think that might be what they're telling the Scouts coaching staff there.
And guys, one way or the other, I just got to look at the replay on Sam's iPad. Even if they hadn't blown the whistle, it's still the catching glove is pushed in, so it would be goalie interference either way, right?
I don't know if it was pushed across the line though. It was at a point where it just got straight up jarred loose. But I mean, either way, Charlie Trapp keeps it out in the end with a no goal called. Otherwise, Lake Forest has this game tied at 1.
And Dylan, there's a little bit of a gray area in terms of that type of goaltender interference as well, because if it's deemed that the puck is still alive, the offensive player can push the puck in, and there's incidental contact against the goalie. So depending on how the refs see it in real time, depending on if they can call goaltender interference at that point.
Centering feed falls all the way through. Trapp will leave it aside for Donato. Loyola trying to head back to the semifinals for yet another year. Here's Lee with the shot kicked away. Jazzy tries to follow up. Anaya winds one up, and that never got to its intended target. Luke Berghoff just no fuel left in the tank as he sends in deep.
Second time today we've seen a puck hit off of a Ramblers defenseman as it's come in on net on a Trapp. A few great reactionary saves out of the Ramblers netminder today.
Here's Blazejowski pumping ahead for Hoffman. Another block by Anaya. Ezio Berrettini rifles it off the glass. Good keep by Tingle. Now Kading. Nice feed. No look shot by Hoffman well wide. And Strothman curls out of his own end. Some of his teammates in a change. He just walks right in, tries to slide it ahead for Maricini, who was still involved in the action, but nothing much going there. In front, Catalano with a chance, and Charlie Trapp stands tall.
Great movement by the Ramblers netminder. We're going to see it here. He just keeps everything down low, covered. Not even a reactionary save. He just lets that hit him as he moves from his right to his left, makes himself look big, and is able to swallow up any rebound. You can see right there, just stays that, keeps everything locked and loaded, keeps his hands down too. Makes a really difficult save look easy there as the Scouts already 7 shots in this period.
7-1, they're out shooting the Ramblers right now in frame number 3. Game totals now favor the Scouts 29-25, but the most important stat does not. Saw Ignatius outshoot New Trier earlier. That wasn't enough.
Luke, I was thinking the same thing. The teams that have been dominating on the offensive side so far today have not seen the outcome that they had hoped for.
This one played around now. Robbins swipes it over. Esplin looking back door, but Catalano was tied up.
feel like if you're Esplin right there, you got to put that puck on net. I know he's trying to find somebody there back door for an easy tap in, but you've got to force Trap to make a save.
Thomas will get a change and gives it off to a speeding Joe Bear. That had blockered away by Marsh. Torelli, that one behind Valenti, who now chases after Donato. Torelli trying to hold to his best ability, but it's pushed ahead by an accelerating Daverman, lofting one right through the slot. Tussle up on the blue line. Now the puck is lodged back below the goal line. Pasquesi beaten to it by Daverman, who's had a couple of nice hustle plays on this shift alone. Daverman throws it off the side of the net, and it ends up directly below the cage. Lake Forest just clears, and it won't be icing. It is directly on Trap.
It's a smart play. They need a change.
And a bad giveaway. It's Rolek from a distance, blocked and sent out of play. Donato got the last touch.
Guys, talk about the shots on goal. In case the viewers at home are curious, on the season, Loyola does have an over 500 points percentage when they are outshot. That's regular season anyway. A record of 4-3-2. Lake Forest, when they have more shots on goal, hasn't happened very often, but they have a record of 4-1-2 in the regular season.
Well, you know what that means? Goaltending on both sides, whether it's Lake Forest getting outshot so often and having the record they do, and then Loyola, that stat just presents itself. Here's Anaya winding one up, and that blocked off by Berghoff. Here comes Julian Gabal the other way. He tries to lead it ahead. Anaya retreats into his own corner and has his earth shaken by Gabal. Michael Smiley in around the net. Now Berghoff settling at the goal line, feeds it out in front. Marsh makes a big save out in front. Another point fire, and this time it's gloved up. No rebound, even teased by Logan Marsh.
Julian Gabal with two great chances in tight. We're going to see it's a big hit taken by Anaya as that puck makes its way around, and doing so, Marsh just holds his ground there on the right post. We saw it on the opposite side with Charlie Trapp, where he moved across the crease and just let that puck hit him. Marshall on this opportunity does the exact same thing, holds the post tight, just eliminates everything downstairs, gives Julian Gabal nothing to shoot out, makes two great saves here in the third.
Blazejowski has it poked away by Rancourt. Now Hoffman recuperates, tries to go high slot. Tingle backhands to keep it in. In deep, Hoffman. Kading goes to the point, Donato. And once again, another one off target, but brought down for a safe measure by Logan Marsh.
And then again, there's just some wholesale changes by the scouts. Marsh really knowing when his players are at the end of their shift, just great awareness. As you can see on the replay, just how high that's going to go. He's down in the butterfly just in case that gets tipped down, but knowing either way, he's going to catch that in the glove if it comes all the way through.
Marsh nearly playing 2 full games into this one for the state tournament. Only faced 12 shots between those two opponents that were both Varsity 2 teams. Here's Blazejowski. Curling around quickly, shovels one on, saved by Marsh. And now in this one, Marsh has seen 30 shots. There's another one fed out in front, quickly swiped away. Loyola has controlled the zone ever since we mentioned it was Lake Forest's period. Not our fault, but...
Caster's curse, as our friend down between the benches always likes to say.
Yeah, you know, it is our fault. I'm just going to admit it. There, Cheney better watch his tail. Sent up the wall, nice keep by Thomas. Thomas, beautiful feed into the slot. Joe Bear punched away once again by Marsh, who's now got 30 saves.
Marsh does such a great job of recognizing when that puck finds its way to the tops of the slot. He just comes out and makes himself look big on top of the crease. You can see he's just making, it seems like he's just making simple blocker saves here, right? But they're high chance scoring opportunities that he's making look relatively easy in the blue paint.
And I guess that's actually save number 29, pardon me. They might have missed the previous one. Sam Schwartz fault. Oh, Steves. Oh.
Look out down there.
Sauer just got nailed by a puck. Add it to the bloopers, Jimmy.
He just ate that too.
No, he just didn't move.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier, how calm he is on the bench. He's just no real tentative emotion either. Just so relaxed down there behind the scouts.
Well, if you're going to preach the game of shot blocking, you got to take it too. And that's exactly what this Lake Forest team has been doing. Here's Lee, now feeds for Eggers over the line. Loyola won it off sides. Eggers now tries to backhand one on, but nothing going down on the goal line. Dine just gets it out of trouble. Now Thomas curls it across ice for Jobert as Loyola exits the zone. Luke Jobert, the talented sophomore, throws a pass away, zone held by Dwyer, and he has it swiped off by Maricini. Alternate captain looks to send it out of the zone. Now Berrettini at center ice just hits the body of Gall. Icing, 7:50. Do you know a volunteer or youth player in your hockey community who deserves to be recognized? The Wolves and Guzman y Gomez have teamed up for the Little Wolves Amateur Hockey Volunteer of the Month program. Learn more at ChicagoWolves.com/fansden.
Luke, I was just going to say, you hinted earlier at Lake Forest having to play 2 varsity 2 teams in their first 2 state games. They were that close to playing 3 straight games against varsity 2 teams. That New True Blue pulled that one off. That would have been an interesting run to state.
Would have been an interesting run to the Final Four. Oh, what a feed. Just out of reach for Dwyer. Each netminder with 30 saves, both first team All-State. Both also on SHL team selections. Trapp was second team, Marsh was first. This one hits off the near side linesman. And it's fired back in. Ramblers will change a handful. 4 of 5. Here's a bad giveaway. Radel walks in with the rifle save. Popped up in the slot and clapped out of play by Julian Gabal.
Great shot block there by Rolick as that puck came over to Gabal's stick. You can see it here at the last second as that's actually the previous opportunity here. Jimmy. Oh, no, actually, never mind. I was right. You see Rolick there at the end. See how far Marsh is on top of his crease. A little bit of a shaky rebound, but stays with it. You can see how little net you can pick up even from the camera angle that we have right there. Just shows you what the shooters are seeing when they're coming down on the scout's net.
Slowly starting to pack in here for St. Viator, Glenbrook North as well to follow. But for now, all eyes on whoever moves on here. Winner has number 2 New Trier. And then we figure out the next 2 to clinch a semifinal spot. Glove down by Radel. Luke Radel down the right side as the junior shoots wide. Smiley takes back in. Torelli having some trouble. Could be numbers out in front. Maricini recovers once again, but then gives it right back. Good curling feed out in front for Berghoff. Kicked away once again by Logan Marsh. Berghoff, no move. Now it's Hoffman giving away. Torelli for Esplin. Can this top line for Lake Forest deliver? Not there from Esplin at least. Robbins lays a booming check down in the corner. He'll need some help though, and he can't find it. Don't know how many more shifts these guys will have, and for a guy like Michael Catalano, who's a senior on that line, you don't know how many shifts you could have left in your career.
Expect that top line to get double shifted as well. Get a replay here. Love that we have those box cams. Just get so in depth of what's going on the bench there. But yeah, expect that top line of Catalano, Robbins, and Esplin to get at least double shifted here throughout the rest of the game. They still have their timeout in their back pocket, so expect them to use that at some point in the next 3 or 4 minutes. get something drawn up for that top line and get this thing tied up.
Esplin a senior as well. Robbins a junior. So you've got two guys trying to not see their season come to an end. And career at that. Here comes Preston Lee on an exit pass. They'll just fire in deep. Back out to the red line, Luke Pasquesi, another senior. Bit of a tangle up over the blue line. It was Strothman who held onto the stick there, Tingle. Strothman now leading the forecheck. Donato avoids him. Blazejowski gives it right back to the Scouts, and it's fired back in, but delayed offsides. Plenty of time to break out at that. And it's just lofted right back towards Marsh, but down the length for icing, Dylan.
Guys, I want to touch on a note Sam Schwartz got from Brett Straley, Performance Education and Development Chair of AHAI. You can let them know you absolutely cannot hit a goalie glove when it's covered with your stick in the slot and it goes in the net. It should never be allowed to be a goal. There is no gray area. There's no such thing as incidental contact. So we've got our own Dave Jackson here.
Wow.
The SHL Network. He's tuning in right now, Brett Straley, so shout out to you.
Another quick chance for Lake Forest there, and here comes Thomas. You know, it's a good point. It can always differ no matter the level. So you caught me and Wes off guard there.
I was going to say, I'm getting my information from the NHL, which seems to differ on what goaltender interference is every day. So shout out to the support and all the people watching to make sure we're getting that call right.
Tickets are on sale now for the Illinois Boys Varsity Combined and Varsity Red High School State Championships at Allstate Arena on March 6th. For tickets, visit ChicagoWolves.com/state championships. One of these two teams, 2 wins away potentially. They'll have to get through the other opponent on the ice right now, and then New Trier come tomorrow afternoon. Joe Bear swings it around the boards, and time running out for Lake Forest. And if you're Loyola, you have to exit the zone, but you don't mind it. Just burning more clock off. Steve Sarauer and the Lake Forest Scouts still have a timeout. Here's Rolek. From a distance, that one nearly funneled right through Trapp. As it cycled down the boards, good give and go, but stationary as Rolek, not much going. Rancourt put it off a Rambler body on the bench.
At a certain point, the Scouts' defensive core has got to get more aggressive in the offensive zone. We saw there was a chance for them to keep that puck in if they pinch, but you got to recognize that earlier, I think, than they did. So expect them to get a more active here as we wind down the next 3 minutes and 38 seconds.
Top line back out there for Lake Forest. An unbelievable turnaround it's been for the Scouts, 11-15-4. Last year in the SHL, they were the number 11 seed in state. Lost to Glenbrook South in the round of 16. And here they are, already farther than they were before, trying to find an extra step. Esplin off for Catalano over the blue line. The senior fires a shot. Rebound is teased, but not for long.
And Sarrar is going to pull.
Wow.
Marsh.
Timeout called. Lake Forest will draw something up, it seems. Logan Marsh is very likely going to be exchanged out for a 6th attacker.
And Luke, I'd be interested to get your thoughts on this. I'm usually of the mindset that you only use your timeouts under 2.5 minutes.
I think it's just because you want to make sure these guys are, well rested for this moment. Now, granted, they haven't been out, though. That's the thing. So you're getting them extra rest. I would have rather personally given them a good 30, 40-second shift. Then if you get that ideal whistle, timeout, run them again.
That's what my thinking was, is you usually take the timeout once that top line is coming off the ice, right? So that you have that.
But I will say you would rather use that on an offensive zone face-off, and you don't know how many more of those you're going to get.
Agreed.
Go.
I just think it's a little, not that I disagree with the call. Obviously, you need to, get your checks and everything done. You can see Sarrar on the whiteboard. I'm not saying that by any means is the wrong call, but usually you see coaches wait a little bit later to call their timeout. but he wants to get his guys in order, get everybody on the same page here. I think Marsh will stay in the net as he's, making his way back there. I think it's a little too, so I agree with that. A little too early to pull your goaltender, but at the same time, like you said, you got an offensive zone face-off, gets that top line out there, gets everything drawn up, so let's see if they can capitalize.
Robbins against Kading at the dot. Max Kading in gold, the only goal scorer in this quarterfinal game. It's Catalano going just wide off the face-off. Hoffman now for Blazejowski in a one-on-one. Blazejowski putting on the Jets, goes to the net, backhander. Oh, what a save! Logan Marsh keeps this game alive for Lake Forest. Into the high slot, it's Hoffman, saved by Marsh.
And the critical part about that is Pasquesi doesn't take a penalty. Blazejowski does a good job of going over the stick, and Logan Marsh just reads this correctly. Blazejowski fakes forehand there so Marsh could sell out to the blocker's side, but doesn't. Look how calm he is. Just never bites and flails out that glove to keep his team in it. I mean, Luke, both goaltenders, we're creeping in on 70 shots and only one goal's been given up. It's remarkable.
Unbelievable. It's Thomas at the goal line now. Nick Thomas, who scored an overtime winner against Lake Forest earlier this season when these two met beyond regulation that one time. Or actually, they've gone beyond regulation twice, pardon me. Lake Forest won their game October 5th in a shootout. And it was Tommy Esplin, who was new to the team, scoring the shootout game winner, coming from AAA. That line not out there right now with 2:12 and counting to go.
Luke, I'd expect them to be the next ones coming over the boards. I wouldn't be surprised if they stayed out there for the remaining 2 minutes of this game.
Berrettini now. Scouts start to carry it up ice. It is eerily quiet in here. Berrettini from a distance, and that will create an offensive zone faceoff. There is the nod to Marsh, who will go and get his water bottle, come to the bench, top unit coming out with an extra attacker, Wes.
And people might wonder why Serrara didn't pull Marsh originally after he took that timeout. It's really smart. You want to make sure you have possession of the offensive zone. Now with it being under 2 minutes, you really don't have a choice but not to pull your goaltender. So that's why Marsh comes out now. You get that extra attacker out for the Scouts.
Strothman is the extra on the left side. Here's a bad giveaway. It's Catalano, soaked up by Charlie Trapp.
And in a moment like this, you've got to be more disciplined than to try and shoot for that empty net. That puck comes out to the high slot, and one of the last people you want to have the puck on the stick, if you're the Ramblers, is Michael Catalano out in the high slot, but Charlie Trapp with another great save in tonight's game.
36 shots, 36 saves. Charlie Trapp, first team All-Stater for a reason. Offsides.
Yeah, guys, I don't know about that call. I had a great view of it from here. It was sitting on the blue line, and the linesman raised his hand right away. I don't think that came all the way out to the neutral zone.
And now Marsh, they'll have to make a decision. I don't think they're going to bring Marsh back to the net, even though a neutral zone faceoff. This could get dicey. Broken stick off the faceoff for Esplin. He's got to go and get one. He's just going to grab one of his teammates. Quickly jump back into the play. Pasquesi has his shot blocked by a sliding Jack Blazejowski. Under 90 seconds left on what could be the Scouts season. Pasquesi curls it back. That could have been trouble. It's Esplin with a stick he's never played with in his hands before. Drops it for Catalano. Here's Michael Catalano leading ahead. He's got to chase in on Dine. Patrick Dine swings around the boards. Good keep by Strothman. Down the corner, Grady Strothman. Black jersey slide into the corner. Desperately needing possession here. As you hear from Sam Schwartz, we're in the final minute of the second quarterfinal game. Good time killer by the Ramblers. It still hasn't been jarred loose. Now it is by Strothman. Going up to the point. Pasquesi, point shot on the way. Deflected into the netting.
I don't think that puck ever got through to Trapp. You can see it on the replay. This is going to show where Esplin's stick just snaps off the draw but I don't think this puck ever gets in on trap. You can see he just goes down the butterfly because he can't track it. There's all that traffic in front, so good on Loyola to find a body out in front to help their goaltender out. Get a whistle down here in their defensive zone.
It's Esplin off the draw. Berrettini was right there back door. The coaching staff on Lake Forest can't believe it. It might have been their last hurrah right there, but they've still got time to prove themselves wrong. Here's Esplin turning and firing off the side of the net. Now it's Kading gluing it against the corner. 23 left to go. Maricini in front. Berrettini was there. It's intercepted by Dwyer. Jack Dwyer up the ice. 2-on-1 empty net. Blazejowski will try to score, and he does to send Loyola to the state semifinal for a consecutive year.
Blazejowski now a goal and an assist in tonight's game. I thought he might pass that, but he chooses it to do it the dirty work himself and just snaps that home. And just about 13 seconds left in this ball game. The Ramblers are starting to feel it. Some dejected faces on the scout side to our right.
The Ramblers will go back to the point where they were dominated last year. Bennett would beat them 5-1 to move on to the state championship. And it's the Ramblers full of fuel who will try to do that against their rival tomorrow afternoon. It's a heck of a season for the Lake Forest Scouts, but the Loyola Academy Ramblers will move on to the state semifinal. A 37-save shutout from Charlie Trapp leads the way as the Ramblers ramble on to the Final Four.
And you need your best players to be your best players in the biggest moments. And for the Loyola Ramblers, Charlie Trapp, one of the all-staters, he rises to the occasion in the big moments. He had a shaky one against New Trier Blue. We've talked about it all afternoon, but he comes perfect. 37 for 37 to punch their ticket into the semifinals.
Easiest interview selection of all time for Dylan Ward, probably in his career, I would assume. No, maybe not. Okay. Getting spicy. I love it. We have talked to Trapp a lot throughout the season.
I was going to say, it might be Blazejowski. I feel like every time we have a big game and Trapp
he
plays
said
well.
no. We're playing a good guessing game up here. Probably Kading then, right? Okay, there we go. Third time's a charm.
Got you. There we go. The game winner.
Loyola New Trier first semifinal set. And Max Kading, who opened the scoring and when you consider a goalie in net practically ended it, is down at ice level with Dylan Ward.
Thanks, guys. Well, Max, you score the game's only goal, at least past a goalie. You've been red hot here in the postseason. What is it about this time of year that turns up your level of play?
Just staying locked in with the boys in the locker room, warm-ups, everything. Just getting the pucks to the net really helped us win this game.
In the season series with Lake Forest, you've had a couple of really close games. 2 went beyond regulation. I mean, this was another really close game, a goalie duel as well. What's kind of the emotions after this one?
I think our team just coming together as a family, getting together. We wanted it more than them. We worked harder than them, and it showed on the scoreboard.
Well, New Trier got the better of you in the SHL semifinals, but you're going to have a chance to get some revenge in the state semifinals, which, unlike that, not a 3-game series, just 1 game, and it's tomorrow. What is kind of the mindset going into that one on such a short turnaround?
Just stay locked in, rest up tonight, get the boys back together tomorrow, and just stay again as a family and work hard.
All right, congrats on the goal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Dylan. 2-0 final here. Loyola beats Lake Forest. Wes Anderson and myself up here with some final thoughts. And I think if you watch this game, you stuck around if you're New Trier, and you watched what Charlie Trapp just did, you might have beaten this Loyola team a lot, but that would worry me.
Yeah, I mean, 30, like we said, 37 for 37. He looks locked in. He looks like he's ready to bounce back even stronger tomorrow, and we know he's going to get the nod. And I mean, can you ask for anything better? 2 versus 3, Loyola versus New Trier, for one of them to punch their ticket to the All-State Arena next Friday. I think tomorrow afternoon is going to be absolute fireworks.
It is going to be insane. That game, 1 p.m. coming tomorrow here. It'll be on the SHL network, of course, with the voice of the SHL, Max Anderson, who will be back on the call for that one. I want to thank everybody before I head off here. I mean, oh good, this might take 40 years. Got Gerard Boris, Matt Freeman, Jimmy the Wiz Olsen, Joel Schneider, everybody, Dylan Ward, Wes Anderson. I'm not missing anybody, am I?
You got Matt Freeman. Yeah, you got everybody.
Yeah,
Joel, yeah. We're good.
At least on the scene today, Wes Anderson alongside myself, Luke Jordan. We bid you a good rest of your Saturday, but assume you won't be going anywhere. St. Viator and Glenbrook North coming up next for the next quarterfinal game to follow. Thank you so much for tuning into this one, and if you are leaving, we'll see you tomorrow as Loyola moves on to the Final Four and we'll play New Trier. Let's figure out the other half of the bracket now on SHL Network coming up next.